Hello and welcome to the Madhouse. Our new live stream on a Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock. Hello, everyone. So, yeah, we'll be discussing everything and everything, basically, all the in-betweeners. So anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about, and I'm meaning anything. But as we do models and stuff on the channel, we can talk about that as well. So yeah, so anything you want to talk about. There's a few things I want to talk about tonight about the part works. Now I've got, obviously, we've done the tumbler. I've done the tumbler this afternoon. That is in this box here. Just going to get it out. There for a minute. So that is where we're at. I think that's where subscribers are at as well. So it's coming together really nicely, but I'm wondering if we're going to get more monitors and other little bits just here along these bits here. In the film there's a little section just here which has a lot of monitors on. I don't think we're going to get much now for the front of this. What does worry me a little bit is this. The reason for that is because of these parts here. So obviously these are rest parts and they must be there for a reason. Maybe that's where the sort of windscreen will sit. But if we turn it round, you can see on this side that it is obstructed by this. I think this is up too high, and it can't move forward anymore. It literally only does that, but it is, as you can see, there's the slope. So the slope will be here. So as you can see, this is in the way. So there's a little bit of concern there. I know the front section there's okay, but once again I think it's a little low down. But you know, that is just me. I think that's, you know, when you look at it like this, obviously in the movie this whole section here moves forward down, and actually there's an opening here. That's the part that goes into the to the cockpit area there. But on the Hot Toys version and some model versions as well, this bit has been added. So this bit isn't actually in the movie version. This is a cutout. This is where he goes into the canopy at the front, and you can see as well on the floor itself the little lines on where it would move along. So the little markings there. That's where that the whole unit would move and sort of slide it. We see it in the very first movie actually, but it is come together really nicely. We're going to have a lot of lights in here, so there's going to be 2 at either side here. Then we're going to have here, we should have some lights on the center column as well when that's been put in, and we should also have more monitors sides here as well, so no doubt they will have lights on as well. So this thing is going to light up quite significantly, I think, this front section. I could be wrong, but obviously in the movie there are monitors here that sort of slope inwards on both sides. Whether or not we actually get them is another matter. The reason I'm doing it on a Wednesday, loads of people seem to be doing stuff, like most streams and stuff seem to be happening sort of to the end of the week. Me and Mark are going to start doing our show on a Sunday, because lots of people have asked us to do a joint one on a Sunday, so I'm going to suggest to him we'll continue doing so. So it leaves a little bit of a gap really for me to come in during the week and just sort of talk to everyone. So yeah, there will be like a catch-up video I'm going to start doing as well. I used to do them years ago. I stopped doing them, but I'm going to start them up again. So like a weekly catch-up, what's been happening in the part work world and what I've been getting up to and stuff like that. So I'm going to start doing them pre-recorded versions of them. And so sort of the Wednesday one will be us talking about anything really. So yeah, how's everyone been coping with the heat? It's been very, very hot today. I thought it was going to break records today. It was going to be the hottest day of the year, but it didn't. I thought it was very warm. I did, if anyone noticed as well, I got my issue 8 of the Enterprise build. I've got to do a few more. I've done one stage of it. I've got to do the other 3 on that. I did get another cup as well, which was unexpected. I didn't really expect to get that, but I got it. Here it is, still sealed up. They're really nice cups actually. So stainless steel. It's like a thermal one. So if you put hot liquids, they keep hot, and if you put cold, they keep cold in these cups as well. So they're quite handy to have. It says obviously it's the engineering one, so it's Latopia Planitia Shipyards one, which is really nice. So I'm quite glad that I got 2 of them. It does say Hero Collectors on it, and so does my magazine as well. It says Eagle Moss Hero Collectors in the corner there. It's interesting, isn't it? It's trying to come up with some fan home ones. So what heat? It was only 24 here today. It was 30. It was obviously I'm a stone's throw away from London, D. So it was 30. I think it was 30 today, weren't it? 30, 31. I think it was. Very, very warm. But yeah, I was out in it, and it felt a lot warmer than they were saying it was. But it was warm. Also, as well, I've got issue 100 here of the night of my charger. So there's only 15 weeks left of this now. November. I think it's either the first week or the end of November we finish this. I can say, thank God. It just seems to have dragged on a little bit, this one. They all seem to eventually, but this one seems to have more than others. I don't know why, but it just seems to have. It's all the finishing touches as per. Obviously, you can see the Knight Rider here. Strange with the Knight Rider. So I'm doing pack 8 at the moment. Pack 9 was sent out, and pack 10 has also been sent as well. So I'm waiting for pack 9 and 10 of the Knight Rider to turn up. They could turn up at any minute. Pack 9 was about 2 weeks ago, so that should be here hopefully before the end of the week. Pack 10 was dispatched on Monday, so sometime next week or the week after. But they are dispatching them really, really, really quickly to me. I'm still waiting for Optimus Prime to turn up. Now I'm doing it with Fan Home. They've had to start my subscription from the beginning again. So I had issue 1 come. I'm waiting for issue 2 to be sent out. So I'm a bit behind. Going to be a bit behind on the Optimus Prime. I'm hoping that, like with Knight Rider, they sort of catch me up. That's what I'm hoping. Robocop as well. It still hasn't shipped for me. It's on the system, but it's not shipped for me yet. So I'm just waiting for that one to ship. I'm also doing that one through Fan Home as well, or with Fan Home. So yeah, there's a lot there's a lot going on. Agora as well are sending me the rest of the Alien build, so I can finish that. So that should be soon. I'm hoping that my Alien build will be finished at Christmas. That's the plan, and we'll see what happens as and when that happens. But yeah, I was thinking we could do this on a Wednesday. We'll talk about all the part works. I'm going to do a roundup show at the end of the week anyway to tell you what's coming out, because we're now coming up to like peak release and test build season, which runs from September to April. So right up until now, we're going to get a lot of part works released and a lot of test builds as well. One of the surprising ones was the ISS. So that was tested last year, late last year, around the same sort of time. It is coming out through D'Agostini or Ateria, I think they're called, in France. That's definitely coming out. I contacted D'Agostini to find out, and it is getting released for the UK, but it will be under D'Agostini Collections, which was the old model space. There's some really nice. It looks really good. I think it's going to be a lot more integral. It's 120 issues. It would be interesting to see what parts you get after parts 4, because you know what you normally get. The first 4 issues you normally get quite a bit, and then it sort of branches off into like 1 or 2 pieces. So I'm not sure how they're going to strip it. From the first 4 issues, it doesn't look like there's a lot to do after that, if you know what I mean. Because it's quite modular, but there's a lot of detail that goes on to the modules as well. So a lot like the Millennium Falcon, there's a lot of like little gibble bits that go on. It looks really fragile. That is something that was sort of striking about it. It does look really good. Some of the free gifts are actually really, really nice as well. And one of the free gifts, which is, I thought it's got to be a first. I've never known them to give away a hoodie before, but one of the free gifts is a NASA hoodie that looks really, really nice. Probably too small for me because they send everything out in a large, and they don't cater for the bigger guys. So, you know, it'd be a nice hoodie if I did get it. It'd be a nice hoodie for my daughter. But yeah, I was about to ask about the ISS. Yeah, so it is going to be released through D'Agostini Collections for the UK. I don't know about the rest of the world. But I know it will be coming out for us to collect. Not too sure when. They just said it will be. Keep an eye on their social media. They don't really post a lot of stuff up there. It's sort of they sort of just stick it on their website and hope everyone finds it. But it is going to be really, because I weren't too sure whether it would be coming out through Fan Home or D'Agostini. It's actually going to come out through Fan Home, so. Not through Fan Home, sorry. So I weren't too sure whether it was coming out through them or not. But Fan Home only cater for TV, film, and cult stuff, and it doesn't fit in any of those categories. Even though it's been on TV and all that sort of stuff, and in TV shows, they're trying to keep it away from that. So it'll be the same. You'll be able to, it'll be the same place that you can get the Mustang that they do and stuff like that. So that's D'Agostini Collections. Like I said, it's the old D'Agostini that did D'Agostini before, that done things like the Moomin's House and stuff like that, and the collection books, but also the stuff from Model Space as well. So like the naval ships and stuff like that. They're going to be doing it. So I've seen advertised in Ian's Partwork page. What for the ISS? That was what I put on there. But yeah, it will be coming out through the Agostini Collections here for the UK. Over in France, it will coming out in the newsagents, and it's through Ateria, which is their French arm of the company. They do everything, by the way. It's just us for some reason that have 2 different entities. I don't really know why. But yeah, I'm not too sure if I will build it. It's an interesting one. Don't get me wrong, but I know there's lots of other stuff coming out, and I don't want to stretch myself too far at the moment. So yeah, there's a lot more coming out. The other one I want to talk to you about as well, which is the first test that we've seen, which is the Ford Falcon Apocalypse, which is basically the Mad Max one. They've been unable to acquire the license for Mad Max. So they're now just calling it the Ford Falcon, which is what it is, Apocalypse version, which is sort of what it is. I would imagine if it did go ahead, that it would come out as the Mad Max one. I'm not entirely sure If they just went ahead with it just because they had it, I don't know. I don't know if it will be released, to be fair, just because I think a lot of people will be sort of questioning why it isn't the Mad Max one that's coming out and why they've called it something different. It's obviously to do with licensing, but it's a bit of a strange one. I'm surprised they haven't acquired the license before going ahead with it. I'm wondering whether they've not been able to acquire a license, or they've approached the licensor and they said, well, I don't think it would sell, and they've gone, well, let us do a test run on it and we'll prove to you that it will sell, and then they will get license agreed. I don't know. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But that was the other one. That's the first test. That's a UK test as well. At this time, I don't know where about the test area is. No one really does until they start showing up. But the website is live, so you can always go on. If you're genuine, you want this, sign up. And you will be gifted a free gift at the end. Lots of people were when they've done the Lancaster and the Batmobile as well. So yeah, there's a little incentive really just to sign up if you in genuinely want to build it. For me, I sort of saw the Mad Max films, but I could say that's an easy miss for me. Most cars are at the moment. I mean, I am doing a Knight Rider. And if other cars come along and Fan Home or Hachette or Agora want me to build, I will build them for them. But it's not something that I would intentionally go out and get. So, D, it was a French. Have been the PW distribution page. Oh right, okay. Yeah, it will be out in the newsagents over in France, and you can then go onto the French page and order it to come out over here if that's what you want to do. But yeah, for me, I don't know if it's the space as well, because it's 1/120 scale. So this thing is about, I'd say, over a meter long, or nearly a meter long, I think it is. So that's a fair size to then place it. Obviously, when it does get released, it will have a premium subscription, which will come with a Galaxy light up base, which looks quite cool. But yeah, each issue is going to be $12.99, I do believe. We are approaching sort of price increases anyway on the Partworks. It's worth noting that it's the first time as well on the French website, which won't be any different, which won't have like any difference from the UK one. It does actually say, it's the first time I've ever seen it as well, is that the price isn't guaranteed, and it says that the publisher may increase the price as and when is necessary, which sort of says to me that they're going to increase the price. But it's the first time I've ever seen that. Normally they sort of try not to tell people that, and they sort of stay clear a little bit of that. It's the first time, like I said, I've seen them actually actively say that in the frequently asked questions on the website. So yeah, but you know, that's a price. I think we're paying that. What are we paying? I think we're paying roughly about that now. It's I've got. What's this one? Do you know what? I'll go to the newsagents and I'll buy these, and I'll never really look at the price. So that's $9.99 an issue. I think the Doll's House and the Tumbler, I think that's $10.99 an issue. I think the Enterprise is $10.99 an issue, isn't it? Well, a stage, I should say. It's about 50. It's about 45 quid for an issue. So. Yeah, this one will be $12.99. So I think, like, going forward, we're going to see that price increase. I think the Lancaster also is going to have. It's also going to be like $11 or $12.99 as well when that's released. And you've got the U-boat as well. That's also coming out. Once again, I'm not too sure if that's coming out in the newsagents or not. We'll have to see. I know they're trying to phase that sort of stuff out. It's going to be interesting because that's due out I think soon, isn't it? It's the 12th of September. Is it next week? For me, it's not necessarily something that I'd want to do. The same with the Lancaster. It's not, don't get me wrong, I like military hardware and planes and stuff like that. I just haven't got that much of an interest in it. Secondly, as well, I don't know where I'd place it. I'm slowly running out of room everywhere now. So with all the builds that I'm doing, Optimus Prime as well, stuff like that, I'm trying to find places to put stuff when they're built. I'm gonna the Dodge Charger, I know where that's going. The Alien is going to go next to the Terminator. I don't know where Knight Rider is going to sit, but it will sit somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where though. I was thinking of maybe getting a little shelf here, or one just here, or somewhere in here to place it on. I know where Optimus Prime's going. It's just trying to find places now to put stuff. I want to build the Batman figure, so I've been told that will be released, and I'm going to place the tumbler and the Batman figure together. The tumbler will finish before it, but I'm hopefully they will go together because the Batman is from the same movie, so it's sort of they go together anyway. So I've sort of got a place for that, and they will sit together. So it's just trying to find, and then there's all these other stuff coming out that I want to get, like the new Star Trek stuff. That's another thing as well. Fan Home are bringing out the new Star Trek ships, so I'm going to have to try and find somewhere for them to sit. It's just a juggling game at the moment. It really is. It's just a complete juggling game on trying to find where they can all sit. But yeah, it's just absolute madness at the moment. With the amount of models coming out as well. Obviously, I've got me tumbler as well. This is the Eagle Moss one, and it is the same one that you get from Hachette, just in a different box, I believe. But that's the Eagle Moss one. I got this at a charity shop for £3. And it's great. I've never taken it out. It comes in a packaging, but I've never taken the packaging out. It came with a little booklet as well, all about the tumbler. But that is what it is. But it's nice, and it stays on the desk there, so that we know what we're doing, where to do stuff. But yeah, it's just we're at the with Parkworks, I think we're at the peak now. We're at the peak of Parkwork. I've never known it to have that many Parkwork companies and Parkworks out at the moment than any time I've ever been doing it. And I've been doing this for nearly, well, how long now? 8 or 9 years. I've been doing Parkworks properly. That means, buying a part of it, then doing another one, and doing another one. So I've been doing this continuously now for about 10 years. And I've never known it to be like it is now. I would say that the part work industry has peaked. Just for the amount that's coming out and what's coming out as well. And what you've noticed, if you haven't noticed as well, the reason I say that I think that Partworks have peaked is because of how many re-releases they're now doing. Obviously, they're great for company because it means they don't have to pay a lot of money out. It's great for us because it means that we'll be able to pick up Partworks that we've missed out on. But what it shows you is, maybe they've run out of ideas. I don't know. I was sitting with a friend and we were sort of going through what other Partworks you could do. There is a load, that they could do, but once they've done them, that's it. And where do they go from there? It's, Marvel, for instance, they could do the Quinjet, the helicarrier, which would be a dream build for me, I think, doing a helicarrier. Then you've got the sort of the Hulkbuster suits and things like that. After that, that's it. I mean, you know, you could say, oh, you could do War Machine, but we've already had an Iron Man. We could do another Iron Man suit. Once again, we've already got an Iron Man. So that would come down to if you want to do it. I wouldn't personally do those sort of things. I would do like the helicarrier, maybe the Hulkbuster suit, but that's about it. I don't see any other character really, or sort of vehicle from Marvel. RoboCop, you could do. Obviously, Ed 209, I think, would be silly not to. Kane, they could do Kane. That's it. I don't know if there's any more. There's really no more characters from there to do. The Enterprise, they could do the TOS version or the motion picture one. But you know, you've got Voyager. There's a lot of choice there, but it's whether or not they're going to keep doing that. Yes, D. A lot of people have asked for Airwolf. It's getting the license for it, and then, you know, does it sell well and stuff like that. So we were coming up with sort of ones that they could do. You know, we've heard a lot of people ask about like things like Predator. We've got an Alien. We've got, you know, the Terminator. So we were going through films. So the Terminator, it's like, who could they do? Well, it's only the T-800. You could do the Hunter Killer, which is the plane, the Terminator plane. Apart from that, that's really about it. And then you've got Alien. So we've done the Alien. So the Alien from the first movie is a drone. The aliens from the second movie are warriors. They're slightly different. The cranial ridge is slightly different. Then we were thinking, well, we've done all that. We've done the sort of, that would be very similar to the drone. The only different one you could do would be, would obviously be there's two that we actually come up with. One of them's the low loader that Ripley uses, and the Queen. Now, I would do the Queen in a heartbeat, but it all depends on how well the original Alien sold. Now, I know it done very well in France, but they got a huge backlash afterwards. And I don't think it's done very well here because of the model that they've used to release it. Once again, you know, you've got Knight Rider. You've got Car, but he's just the same vehicle as that, just slightly different colour. And that's it. Batman, I mean, you could do all the Batman cars. You've got the Batwing as well. Even the Bat Pod and the Batwing from that movie you could do, or even the camo version. Once again, though, that is the same vehicle, just with a camo design. So I think some of these, when you see a lot of these part works, I think, you know, things like Iron Man, I really don't know if they're ever going to do another Iron Man character again. You know, because you would think if they were going to, they would bring it out after. That way you've got like this continuous momentum going, a bit like they did with the Star Wars stuff. So, you know, they released R2D, they released the Millennium Falcon, and straight after that they released R2D2 when that finished, and straight after R2D2 finished they've done the X-Wing, and now they've done nothing. And you could sit there and go, you know, there's Slave One, there's the Star Destroyer, there's a lot of stuff that they could do. Why haven't they? They can clearly get the license. You know what I mean? So I don't know if now a lot of part works are going to start hitting this wall where there's not a lot else to come out. So that is why, that's another reason why I think we for the next, I think, like last 2 years and the next 2 years, I think that is your peak window, because you know, they're going to be, they may be bringing out ET as well, and it seems to me, you know, if they done Bruce as well, like from Jaws, it would be really sort of the bottom, you know what I mean? I don't really want to say scraping the bottom, because it isn't, but it does feel like that sometimes. It's like some of the builds, Partworks have come out, I've kind of gone, right, okay, really? Like a bit like the Mad Max one. It was sort of come out of the play. I know a lot of people like it, and I also know a lot of people don't. I've had people message me saying mainly why it was called the Apocalypse and not Mad Max one, but also people saying it's an easy pass for them and stuff like that. So I think we're coming on to that as well, and the fact that I think a lot of us have already built a lot of models. So like myself, we're running out of space now, and is the interest still there for a lot of them? But with Airwolf, it's a slightly different one because it's a helicopter, which we haven't really had, but there is one coming out through Agora before the end of the year. Whether or not that could be Airwolf, we do know it's a helicopter of some sort. Or I think some people have also said that it could be an Osprey. That would be interesting. But then again, once you get into that point as well, you know, when you go, oh, there's so many cars that they could do, they really could. But then again, why haven't they? There was you know, there was the Land Rover that was tested, that's never come out. So was a Morris Minor as well, that was tested, never come out. Hogwarts Express tested, never come out. We had the Lunar Lander. Now we've got the ISS coming out, but a Lunar Lander we had, and that was tested. That's been tested now through 2 different companies over the last, I would say, over the last 6-7 years. That's been tested twice, hasn't come out. The Star Destroyer was tested, never come out. AT-AT as well, once again, tested, never come out. So it's really like, you know, there's an appetite for Partworks at the moment, but it's for the right ones. And just because of, I mean, you only have to look at like ours, Mark's channel, especially World of Wayne, who's doing well. Wow. I don't know where he's putting it. I did ask him when's he opening the museum. I think he's going to have to extend his studio down and up to accommodate everything, or he's going to have to buy the house next door so they can live in that house and use the house that they're living in as a museum. Because I think there's 15, 16 active builds at the moment, and that is before we've had things like the U-boat, the Lancaster, the 2 007 cars, the helicopter from them, and all the other ones that are due to come out as well that I know of. Yeah, before the end of the year, I seriously believe that there's going to be over 20 active Partworks, and that is madness. Before 2017, there used to be, I think there was only like 4 or 5 Partworks a year. So, you know, there was normally like 10 active ones a year. But like I said, we're not even, I don't even think 10. I think they were very, very cautious about bringing stuff out. But it was, yeah, it's just exploded. And, you know, it cost, you know, Eagle Moss had a lot of problems. I don't think Partworks was its problem. It was the finances. So I think if it had sorted its finances out and had a rescue or something like that, it'd still be here, and it'd still be pumping out Partworks as well as everybody else. So it's just absolutely crazy at the moment as well. The amount that's coming out is it's just a lot. It is really a lot. Hi Peter, how's it going? Nice to have you here. It's nice to see you, Peter. But yeah, I just feel that there's a lot out. The market is definitely flooded. I've been talking to a few people, Mark, Scott from Building with the Boys. The market is definitely flooded, hugely flooded at the moment. And it is really like a bit like it's real competition at the moment. So the companies aren't sort of just bringing Partworks out. They're really sort of fighting for your money now with the amount of choice that they've got out. I know that there's lots of stuff in the pipeline to come out for the UK. Stuff that's come out elsewhere but hasn't come out in the UK is going to be coming out in the UK. That's about all I can say on that matter. So you can have a little think and think what one's he's talking about. But what's this, Peter? You've just been online shopping for some new stuff. Nice. What sort of new stuff are you going after? Because I haven't. You know, so I went to the town, our local town today, and it was dead. It was very, very quiet. Obviously, kids have gone back now, but it was very, very quiet down there. It does make me think that a lot of businesses don't. It's surprising that they're still open, sort of thing, especially with Wilkinson's closing down and stuff like that. But yeah, I suppose it's just the way it is now, isn't it? Everything's online. It's more convenient. I know that. I'm very. I buy everything online. It's cheaper as well. That's the problem. And you don't really have to go out as well. You can just sit down and wait for it to turn up. But yeah, I don't know what everybody else thinks about that. I don't know where everyone else thinks that it's maybe peaked, or we've now gotten into a bit where it's just relentless, isn't it? The Partworks is just relentless. I remember before when Partworks when I started collecting them, there were it was a very niche market, and in technical terms, it really, really is. People 10 years ago, myself, are still building lots of Partworks, and new people do come into it all the time, but it seems to be like us old folks who are still buying lots of them. But yeah, it's a difficult one. I think it's a difficult one because there's just so much out at the moment. What's this? I've sort of got another loco and bits for my new supercomputer. Oh, nice. Nice one. That's nice. What loco did you get? I'm still doing that as well. I'm still my TT120 layout. Now I ordered it a long time ago, and it went out of stock. And then they brought in the sound one, and I ordered the non-sound one, and they still haven't got them in stock. It's nearly been 10 months, and I'm still waiting. I don't know why, but it is what it is. It's on pre-order. It's on order. I paid for it. I've just got to wait for it to turn up, and then it's somewhere to place it all. I've sort of got an idea where it's going to go. So, yeah, and Partworks. It's just a bit crazy at the minute. My Enterprise is still going near the TV because that had already been played out way before anything else. But mine's still going not above the TV, but by the side of the TV now. I will show everyone once I finish building it. I will show everyone where I'm placing it. So, just trying to catch up with the Doll's House on issue 26 so far. I've got up to issue 82 to build. Oh, nice! You'll have a nice time because you're going to be building the rest of the house. Because come 80 in the 80s, you're doing the top floor. 86. That's another thing as well. We were supposed to get issue 86 today from the newsagents. It wasn't there. So we will try again in the next couple of days or tomorrow or whenever. As soon as it comes in, we'll grab it and we'll do the video. But issue 86 officially finishes all the walls in the house. So we've built everything by that point. And it's just all the touching up work. So it's the roof, which is very quick, that goes on. Then the roof tile bits, and then it's all like the touch-up work, just a bit like what we're doing with the Dodge Charger at the moment. It's all sort of touch-up work. We've done all the we've got the shell done. We've done the interior, so it's all sort of like the touching up work. This issue is for the interior of the boot lid. That bit there. So we've put the boot on in the last issue. Issue 100 is just the boot lid, the plastic insert of the boot lid. Then I do believe we build the trunk or the boot itself, so it's sort of enclosed. And then, like I say, it's just little nicky bits going forward. There's not a lot left. I mean, it's 110 issues, so there's only 10 weeks left now to finish it. It does seem to like it seems like it's gone on forever. I'm wondering if it's definitely gone longer than 2 years, maybe even 3. It just seems to be a slow one. I mean, we were building it through lockdown as well, so maybe that's why it's taken. It just seems like a lot longer. I'm doing an unboxing video of the new loco and have a pre-order loco from Hornby to arrive this month. Can't wait for it to arrive. Nice one. I will look out for that video, Peter. But yeah, it's just but yeah, there just seems to be a lot of partworks on at the minute. I'm wondering whether or not, what next ship could they do? They've done the Bismarck, they've done Titanic. So what other big ship could they do? I was thinking an aircraft carrier like Enterprise or something, which they've done in Japan. They've already done an aircraft carrier in Japan, so they could do one. The molds are there obviously to do one, but that would be for the Japanese aircraft carrier that they based it on. I don't know if it would be easier to change into something else, but yeah, they could do that. But yeah, just I don't know. Just seems to be a lot out at the minute. That's all. I still have issue 68 of the Titanic to build at some point. Everything sort of comes around. It's weird because last week everything came at once. Last week, so I had the Enterprise, Knight Rider, Optimus Prime, Fast and Furious, Doll's House, the Batman. It all seemed to arrive all at the same time. So yeah, like I said, everything's just come at the right time, and I've got the good thing is I've got content for the channel, because one of the things is I always worry that I won't have enough content, but I'm doing all right at the minute. The Ark Royal would be a good one. Have they done the Ark Royal before? Because I know they're revisiting a lot of the ships they did before. I'm surprised actually they haven't re-released the Black Pearl, because they did do the Black Pearl. So I'm wondering whether or not, you know, they will do the Black Pearl again, because like I said, they've done it before, but they've never re-released it. And we're in a time now where they seem to be re-releasing stuff they've already done. But I'm still holding out hope that they do the Hogwarts Express, because you never know. Even though it didn't do it the first time, they could always retest it or just bring it out. And if they don't want to do it, I'm sure people like Fanhome or Agora would do it. So it's one of them. It's hope is still there. Enterprise is the only other part work I will do, depending on what Chopper or Gora brings out with. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what could be a good part work to do, and that would be a Sea King helicopter. That would be a quite good one. Or Huey. That would go well with the Willys Jeep that they did. So you could have a Huey and a Willys Jeep. It also also depends on size, I think, as well, doesn't it? Because you don't want it too big, but also not too small. 1/8 scale would be big in a helicopter, I feel. It would be, depending on what helicopter. If it was a Sea King and it was and it was a 1/8 scale, it'd be huge. So I don't know, but it all depends on like the scale, I suppose, on what ones, like you're saying, what one they bring out. But there's a few. I know they did do Hachette years ago did an Apache, and we know that they have a relationship with Hachette. So I'm wondering whether or not they're going to redo the Apache again, because it could be the Apache. Ark Royal sounds good. It does, yeah. Doll's House, hosted by Eddie Stobart, VW are due for me this week. Need to get my finger out. Everything just seems to turn up at the same time. And I want to just put it all out, but I need to sort of stretch stuff out a little bit. So at the moment, I haven't got anything. But like I said, I've got pack 9 and 10 that have been posted out. Pack 2 of Optimus Prime, but I've already done that. Still waiting for the other pack, issue 9 of the Enterprise build to go up, so I can pay and that can be sent. And then we've got Robocop as well, but that's not been sent. That's still processing. Apparently, it may be processing for a couple of weeks, so I'm not entirely rushed on that one. The Bismarck was the last part work I did. Oh, was it that long ago, D? And that one finished a while ago now. You have to pick and choose. You have to have the interest there to do part work. To a certain, like if you're paying, I would say if you're paying for a part work, you have to have that interest, especially to put down the money. I think it's a bit different when they send you stuff like they do with me. Though all the stuff that I'm doing, I'm interested in anyway. The Knight Rider was one of the surprises, so I weren't too sure about it. Now I'm building it; it's really good. Obviously, I'm doing Robocop through them as well, and Optimus Prime. So, and they're the ones I was going to do anyway. So, yeah. But yeah, there's a lot coming out. I think they may have another part work Star Trek ship coming. Not too sure yet. I know that they've got the ships coming that like what Eagle Moss did. So there's going to be more of that sort of stuff from Fan Home. The book collection stuff. I know that they're just finishing up now on the Star Wars Encyclopedia. I've never been a real big fan of those book collections because they just seem to drone on quite a lot. They are a no-brainer. They're cheap and loads of people have done them, right? So they've done a lot of Marvel ones. They've done Star Trek, Transformers as well, Deadpool. Like I said, they've done loads of Marvel ones, DC as well. But yeah, I've not been a real fan of those sort of book part works. They're cheap, but they say, oh, we've got 70 planned. 200 book comes and you're still doing it. So there's a few. I said I would quite happily throw money at and do. Obviously, Johnny 5. It's a no-brainer, but I don't know if it will be released ever. I know Agora are looking into it quite intensely. So it could be coming out. That's all I'm going to say on that. It could be. It could not be. Like I said, it was controversial when it came out. The world, what it is nowadays, I don't know. Agora would be the best place for it, I think, because Agora could release it and they do online instructions. So it would just be Johnny 5 online instructions. But I think the mess of it isn't to do with the film. I think mainly the mess is who owns the rights, because they're all over the place. So all I could gather from looking at it was it was released by TranStar. TranStar was bought years ago by Fox, and then Fox was bought by Disney, and that's where it lies. It's really interesting as well, worth saying this, that you can buy, obviously, both of them on DVD, but you cannot, I don't think you can stream Johnny 5 anywhere. I think you can stream Johnny 5 2, Short Circuit 2, and they play that Short Circuit quite a few times as well. I've seen it played on ITV and Channel 5, but they don't play the first one a lot. But I've never found it on like a searching, like it's not on Netflix, it's not on Disney, obviously, where you would think it is because, with them owning Fox. But it's just, yeah, there's I don't really know. But yeah, I think Johnny 5 would be a good split. There was that one. So there's Johnny 5. Ed 209, once again, no brainer. I think getting it in the same scale as the Robocop, so doing it as the big as you can, sort of physically, so it's in scale with Robocop. Ed 209 wasn't that much taller than Robo, by the way. I didn't realise this, but when they're like in the movie, it makes out that he's actually bigger. He's not. They're actually very similar in height. I think Robocop's like 6'2", and Ed 209's like 7'2", 7'4", something like that. He's not that bigger than Robo himself, but doing it in the same scale would be, I would jump on that in a second. And the other one would be a Dalek. Once again, it would have to be the right scale. A 1/2 scale Dalek would be a dream build, I think, for me. So yeah, those are the three that I would definitely do. Looking at the helicopter ad from Agora, black screen with rotor spinning, was in Airwolf's intro before it lifts out of the cave. Yeah, so it could be. I don't know. I would imagine that Agora will intently let me know, because they messaged me to let me know about 007. It's gone very quiet. I think it's in October. They start people start getting pack one in October, so that would be a good one to look out for, actually. But yeah, I'm more of a, I was never into James Bond. I watched the movies, from GoldenEye onwards, and I've seen some of the older ones. They're not for me. I personally prefer Mission Impossible over 007, and John Wick over the other two, obviously. But I was never a big fan of 007. So, yeah, obviously, if you are, they're going to be, I would imagine that they're going to be, they've got the license to all the vehicles from 007, so there's a huge potential there for them. I know the first two that are coming out, which is the one they've already mentioned, and the submarine Lotus, that is also due out as well. That one's going to be announced, I think, nearer the end of the year, but that is due to come out as well. I think their plan is to release 2 James Bond's cars a year. I don't know how long their license is for, but I know that they acquired the license and they said they're going to be doing at least 7 James Bond cars, but they all seem to be from, apart from the Lotus, they all seem to be from the newer films. So I think they're doing the Aston Martin, the ski Aston Martin, I believe they're doing. The green Aston Martin, there's a few that they're doing. I think there's potential to do more Fast and Furious cars. I know that they're doing one in Japan, because they do a lot of part works there. I know that they're doing Paul Walker's Nissan Skyline, the silver Nissan Skyline from Too Fast, Too Furious, which lights up underneath it. It's got the neons underneath and on the back. So I would do that, I think, as well, just to go with the Charger. I think the two of them would go really, really well. But it's whether or not they bring it out over here. But they have brought that out in Japan. So, and obviously there's ways of getting it as well through Japanese link. So October, the 5th of October, I was told by Agora. Yeah, so I think it's 5th of October. I knew it was October time that they start shipping out the first packages from 007. So, but going back to the helicopter, it may be Airwolf. It may be. Would that be one that you do, D? If it is Airwolf, or wasn't it matter if it was, if you know what I mean? Like I said, would you do a Sea King or a Chinook or a Huey? I can't really see anything other than it being. I don't know if it would be a Chinook, but the other ones that we've said, you know, Airwolf, Huey, Apache, I think it could be. I'll be very surprised if it is Sea King, but it might be because they've just had its big anniversary. Airfix have just released a lot of Airfix models for the Sea King as well. So it could tie in with that. I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities where I think Partworks release stuff where they should have just held on for a little while. Another one as well, actually, I know a lot of people would probably like, and that is the Jurassic Park Jeeps. So you got the Ford Explorer and the Jeep as well, the Ford Jeep from Jurassic Park. But once again, they're just normal Jeeps painted differently, aren't they? Really. But we'll see where it goes. You know, I'm surprised now they've done the alien build with the rubber skin and stuff like that. I'm wondering whether they see a potential there to do like a big 1:2 scale of a Velociraptor or something like that, or a very big T-Rex or something like that from Jurassic Park. I know that Hachette are going to be releasing the Jurassic Park figurines, where up there where you get the different dinosaurs. That was one that they teased, but I believe will come out because they like doing things like that. I would get that just because my daughter loves dinosaurs, and that would be right up her alley. If I weren't building RC Airwolf large scale, I might have built Partwork Heli. Airwolf definitely over choppers that I have in plastic kit. Other choppers like yeah. But like I said, would you be like convinced, Dee, if it was, like I'm saying, if it was big? So I don't know how big the models have been, but like if they did a 1/8 scale Huey, I mean that would be incredibly big. I've got a feeling though they would shrink the scale down, because what you'd want it in scale with your cars, you could have Airwolf and Knight Rider together. That would be pretty cool if they're in the same scale, that is. So, but yeah. And I've never seen Jurassic Park movies. You've never seen them, Peter? They're very, very good. I like them anyway. It's the sort of you don't even have to like dinosaurs to like the movies. I think they're really good anyway in general. Sort of action horror genre. I don't know if you could call them horror, but the book definitely was. If you've ever read the Jurassic Park book, that was a gore fest. If they redid the movie and they made it like the book, it would be pushing near 18, I think, certificate wise, because it was very, very gory. But anyway, look, thank you guys for turning in for the Wednesday stream. I'm probably going to be on earlier next time, over 8 o'clock, probably going to be 7 o'clock instead. But thank you guys for tuning in, listening to me rabbit on. Peter here. My RC Airwolf will have 2 motors spinning as it is. Nice. I can't wait to see that, Peter. That's going to be so awesome. Thank you guys for watching and supporting me as always. I've been Kev. You've been watching the Nexus. And as always, we'll see you at the next video. Take it easy, guys. Have a nice evening.